another episode of Data Dialogues. My name is Larissa Beggett, and joining me today is Matt Collins. He is the Director of Product Marketing at Mountain. So this is what we all want to know. How do we get started? I like a good stat, but I also love a good checklist. And over my desk right now, which you all can't see, I have probably 30 different colored pens and 6 to 7 odds and ends of checklists. So bring us the checklist, please.
Yeah, and this is just, I think this is a checklist that applies just generally speaking to good marketing decisioning, period. Mm-hmm. And so it's before you get into the fun stuff that we as marketers do and that our parents and loved ones think we do all day long. It's asking the fundamental setup questions that really will determine our success or not. And it begins with this almost like a who, what, why, when, where,
right,
how kind of a checklist. It's like, okay, so let's start with the who. Who are we? Who do we have to reach? Who are the people, the consumers that we'd like to be able to get in front of to seek a change? Because marketing ultimately is about making a change. In our case, it's why would a particular business or a product or a brand solve a problem or open up an opportunity for them, be something that factors into their lives in a way that's additive. So this gets into the sort of a broader why. What's your bigger why? And knowing that we all are humans, whether you work in B2B marketing or B2C marketing, we're all human. We tend to react favorably to emotional messaging. So mm-hmm. how do we want our consumers, our target audience, to feel when they encounter us in the ads that we produce? And then I think on a follow-on question, it's what do we want them to do as a result of that exposure? There's what do we want them to feel? What do we want them to do? Mm-hmm. And here we give a little bit of guidance about, when thinking about your ads, where in the funnel are you imagining that you should be reaching them? Is it near the top of the funnel where maybe you're just proverbially sticking your hand out for that initial handshake, or are you looking to capture an in-market buyer and it's coming down to your product or a competitor's product? So these are just some of the considerations. Either way, know that in the world of connected TV, you can get started at budgets that are very much like what you would pay to test an all-new paid social product. So we're talking like $15,000 to $25,000 to be able to test it. Creative can be done very, very affordably compared to linear television. And it's just lowered the threshold to be able to get on this new channel. And then we offer here some very basics. These are qualities that we've observed that are associated with higher levels of campaign results than when these things are absent. So does it have an emotional hook or a product or a value hook? Are you keeping your brand front and center with your audience? Is your value proposition coming through loud and clear? Are you giving the consumer an urgent call to action that's time bound in some way? What is it that you want them to do? Remember that a lot of times, to your point, we're distracted viewers of television ads. We might be looking at our phone. Having the audio on is a way of being able to continue to engage that customer even when they might be distracted or, say, getting up to go to the fridge. And then,
wait, what was that? I can't hear you. What was that? Yeah,
well
for sure.
And having text on screen too is a way of engaging folks, especially during ad breaks when you might have conversation in the room and sometimes the audio is a little bit harder to hear. Having subtitles is a way of being able to just continue to make it easier for consumers to follow along. I think my key takeaway for the group here is just to think more broadly about what connected TV advertising can do for you. Don't just settle for seeing it as a replacement for your linear TV buy. I think it's an appropriate moment with this and any other onset of a new advertising channel to take a step back and say, what could we do with this that maybe we haven't thought of? And to go look at companies that can help to deliver on that broader vision, who can optimize campaigns for you so that you don't have to put man hours at that can give you more detailed measurement so that you can have a better sense of confidence of how your campaigns are performing.
At Porch Group Media, we are partnering with Mountain. Porch Group Media is primarily an audience provider. Just touching on this slide really quick, we have just a broad catalog of audiences to really supplement some of the audiences that Matt was talking about. Really strong in the mover space. We have mover data across the entire move journey. And then we have some of like the beyond the demographics, we do have intent data and so forth. So we do have a rich catalog that can supplement, working together with a partner like Mountain, targeting on CTV and across platforms. Again, the fragmentation of consumers today target that same audience on CTV and in email and in social. Together you get the best results. And I had such a fabulous time talking to you. I want to invite some questions. I know I did get a few. If we do not have a chance to get to all of your questions, please feel free to email me, and I can either pass along anything to Matt or answer it myself. But before we wrap up, just a one quick question, and I love this. This says, are private marketplace walled garden retail media networks becoming more attractive as programmatic buys?
Yeah, I see this question too. And
Okay.
Douglas, thank you. Yes, Douglas, thank you for asking it. I would say, first of all, I'll say this is a bit out of school for me. We're not in the world of retail media. However, I am a big fan as a marketer. I'm the fan of endemic media environments where I can advertise in the same broad environment or using some of the same tools where I know my customers shop. And I feel like I'm getting much stronger intent signals. I'm feeling like I'm setting myself up for much richer measurement. I feel like in some cases, I'm able to have a much shorter gap between ad exposure and closing the loop and knowing that a conversion or purchase has happened. So I think retail media is a rich environment. By the way, that is the least hot take you're going to hear today. Like a lot of folks are believing that too. But what do you think, Larissa?
Yeah, Porch Group Media dabbled in the retail media space, and I find it so fascinating. But I think this is an interesting example. I was shopping on Amazon, and they have a retail media network. And then I was targeted on CTV with what I was shopping on Amazon. So it's the best of two worlds coming together. It happened to be a Halloween costume for my Frenchie, and I was targeted with dog clothes on a streaming platform. And lo and behold, I actually went and bought it. So kudos to the marketers behind that. I think that is a great way to tie those two together.
Yeah, exactly right. That's a great example.
Fabulous talking to you, Matt. Would love to do that again sometime. And thank you all for joining us today. If you have any questions, like I said, feel free to reach out to me and we will get those answered for you. And so with that, stay data-driven, stay creative, and we will catch you next time. Thanks all.